Hello and very warm welcome to English News Bulletin. Here with you with top stories from Turkey and Kurdistan. Celebrations for the Nowruz 2014 took place in the main Kurdish city, Ahmet. The celebration was attended by more than 2 million of people on Friday. More than 600 guests and 400 local and foreign journalists, as well as delegation from other parts of Kurdistan and from abroad, were present in the Nowruz area.
Göreslendum yarumi hasret yüreği dağlar, hasret yüreği dağlar, hasret yüreği. Birlikte göreslendum yarumi hasret yüreği dağlar, hasret yüreği dağlar, hasret yüreği.
Kurdish leader Abdullah Öcalan's message was read at the Nowruz celebration in Ahmet by BDP's MP Pervin Buldan and HDP Deputy Sırrı Süreyya Önder.
Öcalan saluted the people of Kurdistan and Turkey, as well as all of the people of the Middle East, in this which is the New Year Day. Öcalan said, "History has shown us that unless there is a determined vanguard of peace, historical problems will generally continue to evolve with serious losses. The most critical question confronting us is this: are we going to continue with recurring coups, or else to choose the path of a whole, radical democracy?" Also, Öcalan said, the process of dialogue that continued until today was important and witnessed the testing of both sides of the other's goodwill, reality and sufficiency. Both sides have passed this test with determination despite the government's delaying practices, running the process one-sidedly, avoiding the establishment of a legal ground. Öcalan added, processes of dialogue are important, but they still do not bear bindingness. This is the reason why they cannot ensure sufficient guarantee for a lasting peace. At the current state of affairs, it has become unavoidable to form a legal frame for the negotiation systematics. Peace is more difficult than war, but in every war there is peace. We were not afraid while resisting, and we will not be afraid while making peace either. Our resistance has been against the hegemonic system of denial and cruelty that ignores and kills, not against our brother peoples. Therefore, our peace serves not governments or states, but the peoples of Anatolia, Kurdistan, and Mesopotamia that internalize the thousands of years old ancient values of these lands and the world's cultural heritage. The government and states are responsible for developing seriousness in line with this truth. This peace will become stronger only through democratic constitutional resolutions in the entire region, Rojava in the first place. Bearing the great potential of freedom and equality they have gained, women will be the major bearers of this peace with the new ethic and aesthetic values they have added to the democratic social development. Lastly, Öcalan's letter finished with, "All our comrades who have unblinkingly given their life, health and freedom and displayed an unprecedented will everywhere where hopes faded will be the basis of our struggle. I call on everyone who assumes responsibility for his age and humanity to be the building stone of our great peace. I salute all those who take responsibility for the brotherhood of peoples."
For the first time, a video message from KGK Executive Co-President Cemil Bayık was watched at the Nowruz celebration in Ahmet.
Bayık said that despite the AKP government frustrating the resolution process initiated by Abdullah Öcalan a year ago, we are still hopeful at this Nowruz. Bayık began by commemorating those who have fallen in the freedom struggle in Kurdistan, adding, "The Kurds want a peaceful resolution." Bayık continued, "The government did not accept the political rights of the Kurds. They wanted to deceive the Kurds again, but they must accept that the time for this has ended. What is happening in West Kurdistan today is proof of that. They must abandon ideas of annihilating the Kurds. The manifesto of 2013 is based on a resolution of the Kurdish question. If there is a crisis in the process, it is because they have not taken a positive approach to the process initiated by leader Apo. When President Apo announced this historic manifesto a year ago, he actually did it for the peoples and democratic forces, not for the state and government. However, the peoples and democratic forces in Turkey, ourselves included, did not take sufficient possession of this. If this had occurred, Turkey could have democratized and the Kurdish question could have been resolved. If there is to be democratization in Turkey, then the key to this is the release of leader Apo and all political prisoners. Unless this happens, problems will worsen.
A delegation consists of Catalan politicians went to Kandil to participate to the celebration in Kandil. The delegation tells about the purpose of their visit.
Well, my name is Sara Vila. I'm from Iniciativa per Catalunya Verds, which is the Green Party of Catalonia. I'm a member of the Parliament of Catalonia, and I came here to give support. My party wants to give support to the Kurdish cause because we think it's an important moment for Kurdish people. It's an important moment to have more respect for their rights, to fight now for the respect of their rights. And we wanted to go to give support for this process that the Syrian Kurdish people is making now, which is also very important. But we couldn't cross the borders because of this huge problem that Syria is living nowadays. The Kurdish cause is also our cause because Catalan people has been always demanding, has been always claiming for the rights, for respect, because we are a nation, and the government of Spain doesn't want us to perceive or to recognize as a nation. So we want the Kurdish people to be a nation and to decide their future. That's what we are claiming. Catalan people, we are claiming for our rights, for our independence to decide, for our right to decide what we want to be, our right to decide our future, and we want that Kurdish people also has the right to decide what they want to be.
We are very glad to be here for Nevros. We are a Catalan delegation from Catalan Parliament. We are trying to visit different realities of the Kurdish people in Iraq, in Turkey, and in Syria. And we are very glad to see how many people are celebrating Nevros in these mountains. And we will go later to Turkey to take part in local elections and to see how much support do BDP have in local elections in Turkey. And when we go back to Catalonia, we will try to have some parliamentarian initiatives to help and to support Kurdish people in whatever we can do from Catalonia. We in Catalonia, we have a process now, a political process, where pro-independence people are the majority of the population, and we will have a referendum at the end of this year. In 9th November, we will have a referendum for independence, and we hope we will win this referendum and we will get our freedom, and we hope that Kurdish people will have their freedom as soon as possible too. Yeah, the main goal of our travel here in Kurdistan, in Güney Kurdistan, was to cross the border with Rojava and to go to visit the revolution in Rojava, to visit the government, the assembly, to know a little bit more about the new constitution, to visit the people assembly, the people movement in Rojava. But we came to South Kurdistan and they did not give us the permission to cross the border. Therefore we are here visiting the mountains because we did not get the permission from the South Kurdish government. We really wanted to know a little bit more about what is happening in Syria, because outside the Middle East, Syria is a subject of news in all TVs every day, but nobody is speaking about Kurdish people. They don't exist in the Syrian conflict, they never exist anywhere. And therefore it was very important for us, for the Catalan Parliament, to know a little bit more about Kurdish people in Syria, what they are doing, what they are fighting for, and how it is going on in Syria.
Kurds in Europe celebrated Nowruz with massive participation yesterday. Thousands of Kurds have come together on the German city of Düsseldorf to celebrate Nowruz celebration. 60 organizations representing different communities and faiths in Germany participated in the organization of the marches, including Kurdish, Turkish, Laz, Armenian, Pontic Greek, Assyrian, Syriac, Arab and German and Alawi, Sunni, Christian and Yazidi groups. The red and yellow marches converge in the city center, where at 1 p.m. the Nowruz program commences under the title Nowruz, Peace for Kurdistan and Democracy for Turkey. The celebration began with the children's choir of the Kurdish Academy singing the Kurdish national anthem. Speakers at the day-long celebration included PYD co-president Salih Muslim and BDP MP Pervin Buldan. The clashes in Rojava continued all week through, according to the sources. During the clashes broke out yesterday and still continues, 13 members of ISIS has been killed.
YPG People's Defense Units reported that during the clashes broke out yesterday and still continue, 13 members of ISIS were killed. 3 of them are reported to be ISIS commanders. Press office of YPG stated that members of ISIS attacked Kobane from 3 strategic regions. The ISIS attacked Kade and Ashme villages, where some of the civilians were wounded in the attacks. Our forces responded to attacks on these villages, and 4 ISIS members, one of whom is an emir from Egypt, were killed. The ISIS gangs also attacked southern regions of Kobane, where 2 emirs, Ebu Yusuf el-Tenfizi and Adem el-Shishani, and 9 other ISIS gangs were killed, says YPG. The People's Defense Unit's YPG Press Center announced that a retaliatory operation has been carried out on the village of Tel Henser, 25 kilometers to the west of Serekaniye, which is an important base used by Islamic State of Iraq and Syria ISIS gangs. According to a statement on the official YPG website, the operation was launched in support of the resistance in Kobane, targeting 3 centers in the village, resulting in the liberation of the villages of Tel Henser, Tel Khezalmicho, Ferisa Sharabian, Ferisa Sofian, Ferisa Disho, Tel Boan and Tel Meha. 32 gang members were killed and large quantities of armaments were captured during the operation. The YPG Press Center has issued a statement confirming that the village of Tel Henser had been entirely cleansed of ISIS elements.
Co-chair of PYD Saleh Muslim spoke about the Nowruz celebration in Rojava and about the attacks by regime and other forces against Rojava.
The co-chair of PYD, Muslim, evaluated the Nowruz celebrations in Rojava, West Kurdistan.
Very good. I mean, celebration. I mean, big people. They were joint celebrations, and hundreds of thousands. It's the first time to join with these cantons in a freedom way, without any pressure from the governments or from the regime. There was nobody, and even there were some threats before, I mean, by those Salafists, and so we will destroy Nowruz. We wouldn't allow them to celebrate Nowruz, but the people insisted, and it was I mean, a kind of insistence of resisting, I mean, against the Salafis and the other forces. So they have done it in a very perfect way, and it was maybe more wider than the other years.
Saleh Muslim talked about the attacks on Rojava general, but specifically on Kobane and the reason behind the attacks.
Kobane, because one of the cantons of those three cantons announced in Rojava, and they were I mean, they were those forces. I mean, they were just given up from the other areas, so maybe they are collecting in Kobane mainly. Because they consider that the Kobane is alone a small place, maybe they can get it, or they can do what they like. And actually those groups, they don't have their strategy. The strategy is not them. The strategy is by the forces who are using them. The other forces who are just using them as a bombardment. So because of that, we are not sure what is the strategy, but it could be maybe they are looking to open a gate between Raqqa and Turkey. Maybe it could be useful for them in future to have kind of connection with the Turkey and the others, because Raqqa already they have established an Islamic Emirates over there. Maybe they are doing to open some connection with the Turkey between Raqqa and Kobane, or at least to assure their assessment to Turkey. We have heard from the Kobane cantons and the administration of the canton. They said they are using a kind of tanks which were not seen before. I mean, before they were using some tanks, and they were destroyed by the YPG and by the weapons YPG has it. But this kind is more stronger, and they cannot be destroyed by those weapons. YPG already has it. We don't know what they are saying. These tanks, it's regime's tanks. I mean, they were in the hand of the regime, so we don't know if they have get it from the regime, or they have stolen it, or they have how they can get it now. We don't know really. And they were supported by YPG against Daesh area. But when Daesh attacks them, so they left their places and they just came to the YPG, and YPG is defending them. So it's a kind of coordination between them, I mean, against those Salafis, those ISIS group, let's say. So it's kind of cooperation against them. So it's not what they can do to help themselves. I mean, YPG is helping them. So those groups, they are Islamic, but they are not Salafist like ISIS. They were Liwa Tawheed and some other brigades belong to or considered before like Free Syrian Army, but still they are not secular as we want. I mean, we want Free Syrian Army should be secular army. We have heard from the Kobani cantons and the administration of the
Now, to get the latest updates from Rojava, my colleague journalist Mehmet Hassan is on the line with us. Good evening to you, Hassan.
Yes, I listen you.
Hassan, could you tell our viewers what is the situation like in Rojava right now?
Yes, in Kobani Canton, the People Defense Unit, Yapagat Peace Center, announced that a retaliatory operation has been carried out of the village of Khanzir, 25 kilometers to the west of Saygani Ras Alain, which is an important base of Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, Daesh tanks. According to a statement of the official Yatagi website, the operation was launched in support of the resistance in Kobani, targeting 3 centers in the village, resulting in the liberation of the village of Khanzir. And Farisha Sofian and Farisha Disho, Tilbogan and Tilma. 32 gang members were killed and large quantities of armaments were captured during the operation. The Yatage Press Center has issued a statement confirming that the village of Tel Khanzir had been entirely cleansed of Daesh elements.
Been liberated.
Yes.
Yeah, Mohammed, you can continue,
Yatage People's Defense Unit reported that during the clashes broke out yesterday and still continue, 30 members of Daesh Islamic State of Iraq and Sham were killed. 3 of them are reported to be Daesh commanders, emirs. A press official of Yatage stated that members of Daesh attacked Kobani from 3 strategic regions. The Daesh attacked and Shem village where some of the civilians were wounded in the attack. Clashes continue between the units protect of people Yataga and the groups of mercenaries of Daesh in Kobani on the outskirts of the province and takes place in the meantime. Clashes in the source of the province, according to information obtained by the agency correspondent Hawar, scan of the clashes taking place between the units and the protection of people and groups of mercenaries between the villages of Smil and Tompo.
Yeah, Mehmet, could I just ask one more question? Are the clashes in Kobani still continues right now?
Now, the sons of the province Kobani continue to provide support and assistance to unit protect the people in various ways and means, where the feet of the people's marches without votes, center country Kobani to provide a sum of money for the center and units of protect people. The board made a popular neighborhood in the center of the marches without Kobani province. A sum of money amounted to 36,000 for the unit to protect people, having donated by the children of the neighborhood as a kind of support unit to protect people.
Mehmet Hassan, journalist from Rojava, reported from Rojava. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Turkey's decision to ban Twitter criticized very strongly worldwide. Turkey's courts blocked access to Twitter on Thursday after Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan voted to wipe out the service that has been instrumental in revealing alleged corruption inside his government. But after that, court said that we do not decide to block Twitter.
This action is contrary to Turkey's own expressed desire to uphold the highest standards of democracy and the force to attract foreign investment, State Department spokeswoman Jen Psaki told reporters at the daily briefing. She said, "We urge the Turkish government to unblock its citizens' access to Twitter and ensure free access to all social media platforms." Turkish President Abdullah Gül, an ally of Mr. Erdogan, joined millions of Turks in flouting the ban by expressing his criticism of the attempted blockade on Twitter. The shutdown of an entire social platform is unacceptable, Mr. Gül wrote in a message posted on his Twitter account. Besides, as I have said many times before, it is technically impossible to close down communication technologies like Twitter entirely. I hope this measure will not last long. Turkish PM Erdogan has repeatedly threatened to shut down social media sites, including Facebook and YouTube, after audio recordings implicating his family and ministers in corruption were leaked. One such recording is alleged to be between Mr. Erdogan and his son discussing hiding money. Mr. Erdogan has dismissed the recordings as fakes and part of an international conspiracy to topple his government. He has accused social media users of launching a smear campaign against his government. EU Enlargement Commissioner Stefan Füle said on Friday he was gravely concerned by the block imposed on Twitter. Being free to communicate and freely choose the means to do it is fundamental EU value, Füle wrote, not by coincidence, on his Twitter account. Twitter has reported 12 million users in Turkey. Use of the microblogging site increased rapidly during last summer's Gezi Park protests.
Now, this was it from us for tonight. We will see you next week on Thursday. Thanks for watching us. Goodbye.